Welcome back, my students. I hope you're doing well and you had found something to entertain yourself during this quarantine. If you are asking about this word quarantine, what does it mean? It means in Arabic الحجر الصحي أو الحجر المنزلي الذي نعيشه في هذه الأيام. So it's such a nice word to learn it and add it to our language, which is quarantine. Actually, this video is to my students at 8th grade to continue our material in English word, and now we are at unit number 6 and we're going to answer the questions in the booklet and in the workbook that are related to our grammar, the time clauses, which I gave you as a homework in the previous lecture. But before we start answering, I have a thank you letter. This thank you letter to appreciate the efforts that had done by our amazing students. These students are Ahmed Jum'a, Yahya Al-Asali, and Zaid Al-Arjan. Thank you, teacher. Thank you, and I appreciate your work. You are the best students at Carthage International School. Thank you. And now this is the time for answers. Let's start our lecture. As I used to start my lectures with you, my lovely students, I used to start it with the day and the date. If you remember, I always used to ask you about the day and the date. So today is Tuesday and the date is 24th of March 2020 or 2020. Now open your booklet, page 16, question number 1, and write on the top of the page the day and the date, please. Let's read together question number 1. Put one line under the main clause and 2 lines under the time clause. If you remember that the adverbial clauses, it consists of 2 clauses, the main clause and the time clause. And what is special about the time clause? That it starts with an adverb. So each clause starts with an adverb. It's called a time clause. Look at sentence number 1. We don't go into school until the bell rings. Here is the time clause because it starts with the adverb until, and the other clause is the main clause. Number 2, take off your shoes before you come in. Here is the time clause also because it starts with the adverb before, and here is the main clause. Number 3, I will call you when I get home. Also, here is the time clause because it starts with the adverb when, and here is the main clause. The last one is when she got home, she slept. It starts with the time clause and followed by a comma, and then here is clause. This is question number 1. Go to question number 2. Question number 2 is complete the sentences with the verbs between brackets. To answer such question, you need to find out the keywords to make it easy for you. If you find out the keywords, you will answer it directly. Look at the sentence number 1. Where's the keyword? Yes, the keyword is yesterday. Yesterday is one of the keywords for past time clauses. Past time clauses has 2 tenses, simple past and past continuous. In this sentence, we used simple past verb to because these 2 actions could not happen at the same time. Let's read the sentence. When I got home yesterday, Mom told me I had a new baby cousin. Number 2, the keyword is tomorrow. Tomorrow is a keyword for future time clause, And in the future time clause, you need to use will plus infinitive verb. But remember, you only use will plus infinitive verb in the main clause, not the time clause. And in the time clause, you need to use verb 1, simple present verb. As soon as we arrive at the beach tomorrow, we will go swimming in the sea. Number 3. The keyword is a moment ago. A moment ago is a keyword of past time clause. And here in this sentence we use past continuous. Okay, we use it because these two actions happened at the same time. That's why we used past continuous. And let's read it. While the teacher was writing on the board a moment ago, some students at the back of the class were talking. Okay, we used was here because the subject, the teacher, is singular subject. And we put were here because the subject is students and students are plural subject. That's why. Look at the last sentence. Remember, always clean your teeth before you go to bed. This sentence is imperative sentence. And in imperative time clause you need to use simple present verb. And always it begins with the verbs. Okay. Now let's move on to the workbook. Please, all of you, open your workbook, page 57, and let's look at question number 1. Question number 1 is complete the sentences with the verbs in the box. The sentences are describing the present time. In this question, it helps you, and it tells you that you need to use the present time. The present time that you need to use only verbs 1, which is simple present verbs. And there is only one changing in this verb. When the subject is singular, you need to add s or es. Remember this rule. Let's start with the first sentence. As soon as Harry and his brother get home from school, their mother gives them a drink and a sandwich. Okay, here we didn't add s because the subject is plural, Harry and his brother. And here we add s for the verb because the subject is singular, which is mother. Look at sentence number 2. They chat to their mom while they eat. Here, in both clauses, the subject is plural, so we don't need for the s. Look at question or sentence number 3. Sentences 3 and 4 are very important. Sentence number 3. When Harry has finished his snack, he starts doing his homework. Number 4. He never watches TV until he has done his homework. Okay. You are asking yourself why we use the present perfect in these sentences. If you remember, the present perfect, المضارع التام, has or have plus verb 3. لماذا قمنا باستخدام هذا الزمن في هاتين الجملتين؟ أوكي. عندما يكون لديك حدثين في زمن المضارع لكن أحدهما لا يتم إلا إذا قمت بالعمل الأول. يعني look at sentence number 3. عندما ينهي هاري وجبته سيبدأ بعمل واجباته أو سيقوم بعمل واجباته فقط، يعني ما رح يعمل واجباته إلا بس ينهي وجبته بس. Sentence number 4. هو لن يقوم بمشاهدة التلفاز إلا بعدما أن يقوم بعمل واجباته. يعني هون ما في عمل بيتم إلا إذا قمت بالعمل الأول. العمل الأول الذي سيحدث يجب استخدام present perfect معه. has للمفرد، have للجمع، plus verb 3 التصريف الثالث من الفعل. هنا تستخدمه إذا كانت الجملة تتكون من فعلين أحدهما لا يتم إلا إذا قمت بالعمل الأول. القاعدة هنا تعتمد كليا على المعنى. إذا كنت فاهم معنى الجملة ستقوم بالحل الصحيح. فهنا إذا كان الفعلين أحدهما لن يتم إلا إذا قمت بالعمل الأول يجب عليك استخدام زمن المضارع التام present perfect مع الحدث الأول. الحدث الثاني تستخدم معه simple present عادي. هاي هي القاعدة simple present or present perfect sorry. Okay, number 5. Before he goes to bed, he plays computer games with his brother. Here we add s because the subject is singular, and we add es because the verb ends with o. And here we add s also because the subject is singular. The last one, the boys usually read before their mother switches off the light. And here is we didn't add the s because the subject is plural, and we add es because the subject is singular and the verb ends with ch. Now move on to the next question, which is question number 2. We are still at the same page. Complete the sentences with the correct verb in the brackets. The sentences are talking about the future. So also in this question they helped you that you need to use the future time clause. Remember that future time clause used will plus infinitive verb in the main clause. And verb 1 were in the time clause. Remember this rule. Look at the first sentence. When Lucy leaves school next year, she will go to university. Here we use simple present because this is the time clause. And here we use will plus infinitive verb, which is go, because this is the main clause. Number 2, before she starts her course, she will spend the summer traveling. Also the same. Here is the time clause because it starts with the adverb before, and here is the main clause, so we will use will plus infinitive verb. Number 3, she will visit her aunt as soon as she arrives in France. Okay, here it starts with the main clause, that's why we use will plus infinitive, and here is the time clause because it starts with as soon as. Number 4, they will see all the sights before it's time for Lucy to leave. Also it starts with the main clause, and here is the time clause, and the simple present from be is or are or am, and here is as because the subject is singular, which is it. Number 5, don't forget to phone me as soon as you get home, said her aunt. And number 6, and send my love to your mom and dad when you see them. What about these two questions or these two sentences? These two sentences are imperative, imperative time clause, it starts with the verb, not the subject, and it use simple present. Move on to the last question. The last question is complete the sentences with the verbs in the box. Use past tenses. Past tenses, that means that you need to use two different tenses, simple present and past continuous. Simple present, if the two actions could not happen at the same time, but past continuous, two actions happened at the same time. Okay, number 1. As a boy, my grandfather often looked after the sheep while his sister helped with the housework. These two verbs are simple past, verb to, and they are regular verbs, and these two actions could not happen at the same time. Number 2, last night while we were sleeping, snow was falling silently. Past continuous, because these two actions happened at the same time. And here is was, because the subject is singular, were, because the subject is plural. Number 3, while we were having dinner, someone knocked at the door. Look at this sentence. At the first one, we used past continuous. At the second clause, we use simple past. نستخدم هذه القاعدة. إذا كان حدثين حدثا في الماضي لكن أحدهما تم قطعه من قبل حدث آخر. يعني كان في حدث مستمر بالماضي لكن فجأة انقطع بسبب حدث آخر. interrupted، إن تم قطعه بسبب حدث آخر. هنا نستخدم الزمنين، الماضي المستمر was a verb plus verb ing، ثم الحدث الذي قام بقطع هذا الحدث المستمر نستخدمه بزمن الماضي البسيط simple past verb to. إذا كان عندك حدثين أحدهما حدث بالماضي وكان مستمرا تم قطعه من قبل حدث آخر نستخدم الزمنين. هاي الجملة: بينما كانوا يتناولون العشاء أحدهم طرق على الباب. كانوا بيتناولوا العشاء، هذا هو الحدث المستمر، تم قطعه من قبل حدث آخر وهو الطرق على الباب. الحدث التي تم قطعه نستخدمه بزمن المضارع الماضي المستمر، أما الحدث الذي قام بقطع هذا الحدث المستمر نضعه في الماضي البسيط simple past. Number 4, as soon as Harry did his homework, he turned on the TV. Two actions happened in the past. The girl did not stop screaming until someone caught the mouse. Okay, remember, when you need to make a negative form from simple past, you need to use did. And did plus verb to could not match. So when you use did, return the verb for verb 1. Did stopped could not happen, but did plus infinitive verb. Did followed by infinitive verb. Verb 1. Please remember this rule. And look at this. Caught. Caught is irregular verb. Irregular. Catch, caught. The last one, Jenny put on her new shoes before she left for the party. Also, these two actions happened in the past, could not happen at the same time, and these also are irregular verbs. Put, leave, left. And here we're going to stop, and finally we had done with this long grammar. I hope that you understood it very well. And if you have any question, please ask me on Facebook, WhatsApp, or whenever you want, or like any social media that you can to contact with me. I am here whenever you want. And that's it. This was Teacher Abeer. Thank you for listening, and bye bye.